All right, let's go. We got Down Pat episode number 13. Big week coming up here. We got the Bills, actually the first of a couple bouts with this team, but huge in terms of AFC standings, playoff implications. Now that, just a few episodes ago, guys, we were talking like, can this team make the playoffs? What do they have to do to make the playoffs? They're just rumbling, tumbling, beating teams right now. And this is going to be a huge week for us. So we're going to get into that. But first, Adam, you're fired up pre-recording, so I need you to channel some of that fire and get back to what you're talking about, because it was Mac Jones related. We've talked him up on this podcast, but apparently the media is now against him. Is that right?
No, I wouldn't go that far, but I would say I just think it's been inconsistent with him. And with regards to on Sunday, a Pro Football Focus, out of the 20 Patriots that they ranked Mac Jones as the 20th of the 20s, meaning he was the worst Patriot that they graded out. And I do think the statistics on that game are a little misleading. I know he had 310 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. In a cold weather game in Foxborough, and a lot of people going into the game were asking, can Mac Jones from Jacksonville, Florida, who went to Alabama, play in the cold? I don't think he looked that. I think he looked pretty competent. That's just my take. Do I think the stats in the 124 QBR might be a little misleading? Yes, because I think one of those throws should have been a pick six to that linebacker. But that happens all the time. How many times have we seen Patrick Mahomes throw a ball that should have been picked? It doesn't get caught. Not as much this year, but and then I see the Kendrick Bourne touchdown that Mac Jones throws. All of a sudden, now they're well, that's a fake touchdown pass because Kendrick Bourne did all the work. How many times have we seen Tyreek Hill take a ball 70 yards that was a screen pass?
So is that factored into their rating?
Into Pro Football Focus, it is, yeah.
Yeah. A bad pass that a wide receiver takes for 90 yards type of thing?
It's all weighted, so a screen pass isn't weighted as much as him throwing 40 yards downfield into the end zone.
I guess my frustration lies on earlier this year when I feel the media was kind of wanted to crown him. And now he has a game where, by all accounts, I'm not going to say he played unbelievable, but to say he had a bad game is just silly to me. They won the game by 23 points in the cold. They put up 36 points in a cold weather game against a competent defense and a good head coach that knows this team well. So I look at that and I say, why are we grading now? Last episode, I said, I want the goalpost to stay the same. I feel now it's this rookie quarterback just threw for 310 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And the story of him is that he was a minus in the game. What can he do then to be a plus? So I guess I look at that now. Now I feel it's a little bit unfair to say, and I know not everyone's saying he had a bad game, and maybe I'm blowing this into proportion because I'm unemployed and watching a lot of national media watch football, but this is my rant. I just think I don't know. I just want consistency, and I don't think we have it with him right now.
Well, it's honestly kind of a positive in the fact that it's just showing how good he is already as a rookie, that the standards are this high for him. It kind of feels like Brady was the same way. When he missed a throw, it's oh my God, I can't believe he missed that. But it's that's because we expect him to make every single throw. That Hunter Henry one, 9 out of 10 times he's hitting that for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Probably more than that.
Yeah, literally 99 out of 100 times he's hitting that for a touchdown. So, you're going to miss passes in the NFL, and you're going to miss them. So, Pro Football Focus would have definitely given him higher rated if he hit that pass. So, I don't know. It's I get where the frustration is from, but it's also it's also a positive in the fact that we're already rating this kid so highly after whatever X amount of weeks. Pretty impressive.
You think there's any credence to the just kind of what we talked about? I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before that, but we were the media does the opposite of what the Patriots are almost doing. When the Patriots weren't playing well, they're like, oh, look at Mac Jones and look at this Patriots team. They're a bright spot and all that. And now all of a sudden they've turned it around. Mac Jones has a good game. Now is it back to hate on the Patriots? And again, Adam, I know you're probably talking about the minority of the media, right? But even still, those people saying what you're saying now, is it that's been the case. When the Patriots are good, what does the media do? They don't like them. Now the Patriots, I think after that game against the Titans, as banged up as the Titans are and everything like that, now you're kind of oh my God, you're on a legit win streak. You can't argue that. You could probably say a game before you were on a win streak. Maybe the media is now souring back on the Patriots.
Well, no, I won't go that far because I think it's more. I think I sounded a little too hot with the media's against that's not what's going on. But it's more like
Adam coming in hot. Who would've thought?
Adam clickbaited the entire episode.
Yeah. No, but like, I'm gonna give you like the media to me is just confusing me because, for example, like Ryan Clark comes up on Get Up ESPN and says that he thinks Mac Jones after the performance on Sunday was like a bona fide MVP candidate, which I think is ridiculous. Like that, I'm not looking at him as MVP candidate this year. I think that's silly. But then like 2 hours later, all of a sudden, like the pro Florio is talking about how Mac Jones like didn't play well, and like. I'm like, how on the same
Florio's a clown. He's an absolute clown.
I know, but I'm saying like how on like the same like day can somebody look at a performance and one person who allegedly knows football saying like we're looking at an MVP candidate, and then the next guy saying actually he played poorly. So that's where I'm like, I feel like they're looking at this kid under such a microscope, and I think that is because he's on the Patriots, and that it's good for the NFL when the Patriots are a storyline. It's good this whole. I saw like in Vegas picked up the Patriots Bucks are the most likely Super Bowl matchup at 15% today. Do you think like obviously the media would have like a freaking orgy if that happened? So I just think it's interesting. But I guess my biggest takeaway from Sunday is I was worried about Mac Jones against that defense. Vrabel comes into Foxborough. He's not worried about playing the Patriots. I wasn't worried about the offense, but Mac Jones still had to go up against pretty good defense. Jeffrey Simmons is legit. Like that team, I think, has some players, and all in all, I thought they were kind of humming. What they punt? They punted one time the entire game. Yeah. The red zone offense kind of stunk. McDaniel's back to his old run pass Big Ten offense in the red zone, but Mac Jones in between the 20s was nailing.
I want to touch upon something you said earlier, Adam. I had this thought the other day, and I think I texted. I forget who I texted about it, but. I don't think it's that crazy to say that Mac Jones should be in the MVP conversation. Like I'm not saying he should win it. I think that's a stretch, but I'd throw him in there. Like I have his name in the top 10 right now. I think it's not that crazy to say. I mean, look at what happened last year versus this year, and he's playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. The team's turn around. He's never going to win it, but I think it's not crazy to put him in the MVP discussion.
Yeah, but you don't think the beginning of the year when they literally were not letting him do anything has any weight there, you know?
But like what quarterback has honestly played that well for 12 weeks? Like there hasn't been one quarterback.
There's been one. There's been one.
Who
I think is like Aaron Rodgers. He's MVP right now.
Yeah. The league won't give it to him with the whole COVID shit, though, I feel like.
I don't know who you're going to give it to other than him. Like there really isn't.
Brady.
That's the thing.
They want Brady to win it.
Yeah, I mean the thing about I saw the Bucks remaining schedule. It's weak. They play one game the rest of the year, so Brady very well could.
Bills, right?
At home too, where they're good.
Yeah.
So other than that, I think they have Carolina twice, and the Saints, who always give them a tough time in the regular season, but they're not dealing with any like. The rest of their season like is not playoff contenders. So other than the Bills, so he could definitely put some stats up. But I think right now it's raw. I think Mac Jones deserves to be in the conversation, but also the next 3 games are really going to determine that too.
Well, they beat the Bills. They beat the Bills twice, and he has a good game in both of those games.
Yeah, I guess at that point, how do you not, right?
Like how's he not in the conversation?
If there's even like a sliver of credence of putting him in now, and then you go out there and almost like. Not shock the world. I think that's a little bit too like much of a stretch, but it's kind of like put the league on notice. Like, oh, maybe I'm leading the best team in this division, everything like that. Like, and then all of a sudden I could kind of get behind it. But
I mean, he rookie of the year is already like that's a lock. Like that is 100% going to Mac Jones.
I mean, he didn't have like the most competition, I guess, but I thought for the longest time I was like, well, he's not doing enough to have to get that right, and then all of a sudden they do kind of open up the playbook, get him going, and it's like, oh wow, like who else, right? Like Jamar,
because Chase has come down a little bit too. Like he hasn't.
He's come down. Yeah, I think it's Mac Jones. There really isn't. I don't know what the odds are for that, but it's
for a quarterback not to win that award, the next guy has to completely outplay him, and if it's even close, it's going to go to the quarterback.
Did Justin Jefferson win last year, or was
no? Herbert won.
Yeah, so like Jamar Chase isn't going to have the year that Justin Jefferson had, and I think Mac Jones, like statistically, will probably have a similar output to Justin Herbert when all said and done.
Yeah.
similar, maybe a little like, I don't know. I agree. It's going to be Mac Jones. What do you think about the AFC landscape right now? Because I look at the AFC to me, like I've never looked at them at like these teams as so there's just not a lot of complete football teams when I'm like looking at I feel like every team has a major weakness. And right now, like I feel like the two teams that played that game, the Titans and the Patriots, if healthy, are the most balanced.
Yeah, I think that I hate to say it, I think the team that really scares me the most is the Chiefs.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah,
They're
the
kind of
Chiefs.
getting.
They're getting hot at the right time. I think if they find a way to make it run through Arrowhead, which I think they have work to do to get that, then I'd be almost putting them in. I'd be like saying it's almost a lock for them to get to the Super Bowl because I just don't see anyone going to Arrowhead right now in the AFC and beating that team. Personally, and especially that's a brutal spot if Mac Jones has to do that as a rookie.
no, I mean,
that's a brutal
anyone
spot.
going to Arrowhead's tough. I don't think they're going to
Yeah.
get that seeding now. I think it's more. I
No.
also just look at the Chiefs. Like when I mean balanced, I mean like the Chiefs. You know what they're going to do. I feel like a coach like Bill Belichick, you cannot run. Well, I mean, we're going to find out on Monday, although that is at Buffalo, and we'll see. But if you can only pass the ball, I kind of give Bill the edge there. If you're not going to
Yeah.
establish any run, like I don't think you're going to beat the Patriots necessarily by running. We just saw the Titans ran for 270 yards, and that score was a little misleading, but it's not like that game was that much in question. So I don't think you're going to beat them by running the ball necessarily, but I think you need to run the ball to establish something else. If you're going to have Patrick Mahomes drop back 50 times, the way the season's going for him, he's going to throw you a couple. That's like just how I feel like. There's going to be a tip ball, and I will find out on Monday because I think Josh Allen's about to go drop back 50 times. So we'll see. That's a team that can't run the ball. I feel like that's how. Although Matt Breida gives them something.
So let's
love
talk
Matt Breida.
Bills then. We're talking Chiefs. Talk about Josh Allen. Talk about the Bills. That is sort of the focal point that we have this week. And I think we all are in the same boat. Like talk about sort of a true test. And I don't even know. Like right now, coming into this, the Patriots in my book are, I guess, the better team. You might want to say that that's recency bias. Talking about how they're playing, I guess, is what I mean. And this is going to be their test. They have them 2 out of 3 weeks. Where are our minds at with that?
Yeah, I think we touched upon it. I think like this is such a huge test for them. I have so much confidence in this team to go to Buffalo right now and beat them. I really do. I think, like Adam said, they make this team one dimensional. They're going to get after Josh Allen. They're going to get him. They're going to sack him. I think Josh Allen's a fantastic player, but I also think he has that hero mentality in him still. That if things go down or he's getting harassed, like he's going to make a couple bonehead plays and plays right into what the Pats want to do. And then I think they're going to be able to run the ball against these guys. I think Buffalo's not that physical up front, and we've seen how physical the Pats offensive line can be. I see this being a game that like we talk about next week and we're like, wow, like that team really outplayed and just kind of bullied the Buffalo Bills. That's my take on it.
I think I'm kind of looking at this a little differently. If I'm this game, we shouldn't really be looking at Mac Jones. We shouldn't be really looking at the Patriots. We were talking about rebuilding with a rookie quarterback. The Bills won the division handedly last year. The Dolphins were second. We were thinking like Josh Allen and the Bills were about to have this division for the next few years. Maybe not few, but that was kind of that was what people were saying coming into this year, talking about last year. Like, all right, the Bills they've risen to the top of the AFC East. And now, 1 year later, you're looking up against the Patriots and their rookie quarterback, and now the Patriots are going to Buffalo on a Monday Night Football, and all eyes are – I don't think you're going to be on Mac Jones. All eyes are going to be on Josh Allen. He was the MVP candidate leading up to this year. A lot of people took him to the MVP. A lot of people said this is when Josh Allen takes the AFC. He's kind of come back a little bit. To be fair, they haven't really helped him out. The whole offense is on him, including running the ball. Like, I think he's their leading rusher. He's obviously drops back like 50 times a game, but everyone on Monday Night Football, like the Manning cast, they're going to be talking about Josh Allen and Bill Belichick. I think Mac Jones is going to fade a little bit to the background.
Josh
so
Allen
I think it's going to
way
be
more to lose too.
That's what I'm saying. If you're looking at this game from like a neutral party, nobody expected the Patriots before this year to go into Buffalo and win the division and beat them on Monday night in Buffalo at week, 14? No one expected that. So if you're Josh Allen, if you lose this game, I think you
13.
got to be you're going to be deflated. So we'll find out. I think, but that's how I'm looking at this game. Like, is Josh Allen going to play well on Monday night? Because that's really what I'm looking to see. Because I like him as a player, but I don't know if I buy in on him yet. He hasn't won anything yet. He hasn't. The only games he's looked really good in has been games that there's been no crowd. I saw like a statistic like last year.
Really?
Like there is a big thing with him that like when he gets like too fired up from the crowd, he makes like more mistakes. And so people are saying like COVID
he has hero
him.
ball in him. Like
I know. So like COVID helped him because he didn't have to like feel the atmosphere. It's gonna be a rowdy atmosphere in Buffalo on Monday night. Like, could that get him to overthrow a ball?
I'll say a couple dildos are gonna be in the field.
MJ10 branded ones.
MJ10 branded.
Mac Jones is launching his own brand. No one ever said exactly what's going to be sold.
I mean, come on, Mac. Like, you gotta have a little bit of like originality there. TB12, JE11, you're just right to MJ10.
That's every like athlete, I feel like, though.
You know, Tyler's like K1, like
every athlete takes for their logo, they take either their initials or their number.
But Mac 10, I mean, Mac 10 can't be available, right? Because Mac 10 is so much cooler than MJ10.
I guess Mac 10 is a gun in Call of Duty.
Mac 10's so much better. You're so right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I don't know.
I think you should just lean into McCorkle.
That's what I was just about to say. That. I was gonna say I don't know if one of you guys. I saw it in text. I don't know if it was one of you guys, but it was like McCorkle 10 is just cooler, or just McCorkle brand.
McCorkle.
I could see that getting high fashion, like expensive gear, like really like fancy like overcoats and stuff. McCorkle, like what are you wearing? I'm wearing McCorkle. Like that has endless possibilities. But all right. Do we want to do predictions on this game, or do you? I guess I'll give my.
Yeah, we gotta do a score prediction because we've been pretty good.
You guys both, I guess, gave your how you think this game, like the meaning behind it and stuff. To me, I think that this, Adam, I agree with you in terms of like the national attention and stuff, but I think that this is just another game where Mac Jones has the test in front of him. It's like, okay, well, now how's he gonna do on a Monday night? You know, how's he like? This is in terms of playing for the division now too, like new territory for Mac Jones, whereas the national media or national, I guess, audience, you're probably spot on with like, oh, you're looking for the MVP prior to the year, you know, candidate and everything like that. I don't know if people are gonna, you know, forget about Mac Jones in the game, but to me, around here, I think obviously us being Patriots fans, the vibe's gonna be like, okay, well, here's another test for him, and it'll be good or bad. It's gonna be another sort of thing that we could use as either, you know, ammo for, hey, you know what, this guy looks like Brady again, or sort of a, hey, you know what, there he looks like a rookie. He might not be totally ready to take on a huge game. He's had some big games already where he's kind of like put that to bed, but that's the way that I go in looking at it. I mean, I'm not focused on Josh Allen as a Patriots fan, I guess, in terms of what I'm looking for. It's more of like here's another test for Mac.
Wait, can I say one thing before we do the score predictions? I'm just curious here. One, I looked at the weather.
It's a podcast. You say whatever you want.
Yeah, one, I looked at the weather. It's going to be cold. Might snow. I think it's going to be like high 30s. So it's not going to probably.
I love
it's
probably Monday night snow game.
It might. I think it's like 50%. So I think we're looking at similar weather to the Titans game. Probably a little colder in Buffalo at nighttime, but around there. But what I'm really curious about is I've been watching like Man in the Arena documentaries, you know, with Tom Brady. And something I thought was pretty interesting is in a lot of those seasons, because they've only gone through like 01, 03, 04 so far, they had like some key loss in the middle. Like they started out 04 like 6-0, and then I think they lost the Steelers, and that was when they won like 21 games in a row, and they
was Halloween night, right? They lost.
It was Halloween night. They got shredded, and they took that away with their like Bill's big thing was, see, if you don't play well, like you can lose, like blah blah blah. But I do think there's something to that. And I know we're later in the year, and there's obviously like the division. There's potentially the 1 seed up. So I'm not saying like you want to lose a game. But I guess my big thing here is they've won 6 in a row, similar to like 04, if you will. Like they're probably thinking they're pretty – not that they played the hardest schedule in the world, if we're being honest. And a lot of the guys, even like the Titans, they played them without A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry. So I think you have to factor that in, and Julio Jones for that matter. But I guess my big spiel is if they lose – is it necessarily that bad of a thing? to kind of like reset and be like, okay, we might not be as good as we think we are.
No, it will kind of leave a bad taste in my mouth that tells me maybe this team isn't. And again, it is one, so you could totally be right. But like the way that I didn't see this win streak going as long as it's going now, right? So now I'm kind of bought into it. And if they take a loss, it kind of sets me back further than I probably would have if they lost, I don't know, 3 games ago or something. If that makes sense. Like now I'm like, okay, they are legit. Like this is a team that we laughed when we were talking about the Super Bowl chances and whatnot a few weeks ago. Like I'm there now. So to me, I almost expect a win more than I expected just a few games ago. So I guess I kind of would take it a little bit harsher than, if they lost like the Panthers or the Chargers, right? But it's not like hey, the season's chalked because they lose this game. They get them in, 3 weeks from that game. Who knows? But I do think that there's a little bit more weight into this game now just based on how they've been playing. Like I wouldn't just be able to be like, this is a turning point. Let's get past it. It would suck to lose, which I'm not saying you're not saying, but Jake?
Oh, you want me to weigh in on it too? Okay.
You're smirking.
that was a lot of silence. No, I think it wouldn't be the. I mean, it depends on how they lose, right? If they lose and it's a blowout and they come up flat, that's like one thing. If they play really well and the Bills, it's a really good game, back and forth, and Bills just kind of squeak it out home. It's like, okay, that's actually like enough motivation for Bell to be like, here's what we did wrong. And then that's when they come out and crush them at home type of thing and ride that momentum. So but I think honestly the Tennessee game, there's enough of that, like Bill has enough coaching points after that game. I mean, they let up a lot of rushing yards. There's the missed passes. There's some things that they could coach up on that I feel like he's honestly probably treating that almost like a loss in the film room, where like there's enough of that to be like, all right, guys, like look at this is what Tennessee did to you. A couple plays go a different way, and you lose that game, or that game's closer than you think. Like you can't do that against Buffalo. So I almost feel like they have that. They're still gonna have that little bit of chip on their shoulder, come out and fix those errors. So I just don't see them losing on Monday night. I honestly think they're gonna play a really good game and kind of shove it down the Bills' throat a little bit. So let's lead into score prediction because I have mine.
It's such a differently wild tune that we like have started singing in the last weeks. It's so crazy.
I know, it's crazy.
All right, Jake, you want to start it off? Just for the people watching at home, and I guess for you guys, Adam probably already knows this, but Jake is illiterate when it comes to this stuff. But the Patriots are getting 2.5 points here as the underdog, and the total's 43.5.
It started at 3.5.
2.5. What was it over under 43?
43.5. And Adam dropped a little bit of weatherman Adam on us, so keep that in mind too. Jake's got his pen. Like, what are you possibly writing down right now?
I'm taking notes. I'm like a fidgety guy. I always have to have something in my hand. So there's no paper.
Let's get to that prediction that you're so excited about.
I'm going with 35-20 Pats.
So handedly, sort of like almost a similar game as to what we saw last week.
I nailed the score last week. Just you guys.
You nailed the Titans score.
Well, I said 30. I said 30. What did I say? 31-13. So I mean.
That's pretty good. We've been surprisingly accurate at just predicting the score. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right,
and I made zero money on it, so I guess I'm not doing anything right.
That's why you were accurate. If you put money on it, the gods would be like, "Yeah, no, thanks."
No, fuck it. Fuck this kid.
I'll say one interesting thing about this Patriots win streak, especially the last few weeks, is I feel like there's been a couple games where they haven't played necessarily that well. Like the Falcons game, they didn't play that well. It was a Thursday night game. The Titans game, I don't think they played particularly well on Sunday, and those games have been blowouts. So it's just been weird. It's a weird trend. Usually when you don't play up to your despite them playing kind of not up to their best, I feel like they've still been blowing out these weaker teams, which is a good thing. I do think it's going to be tough on Monday. I do think they are scheduled for a loss. I'm looking at 24-20 Buffalo. I just look at this game for Buffalo means a lot. I'm not saying Buffalo wins the division, but I think this will be the loss on the Patriots schedule.
So what's the score?
24-20 Buffalo.
He said it. You got to listen, Jake.
Oh, sorry.
All right. I'm closer to Adams. I do still think, like I said, I've now bought into this team's ability to beat anyone, anywhere type of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they go and lose, but I do see a win here. And I think I think Nick Folk ends it with as time expires, or I don't know, a couple seconds left on the clock. A little shout out to special teams there for Adam. I think
I
we
know. I just
see
got so excited.
we see a 24-21 win for the Patriots. So, I guess that would assume that they're tied moving down the field, and Nick Folk hits a 87-yarder to win it. That's my official prediction. Actually, I hope that what was the yardage against the Bucks?
53 or
56
56.
or
Yeah,
54 or whatever.
56.
I hope they had the
56.
exact same yardage, and I hope the weather
In the
is
snow.
snowy and Nick Folk pops it in.
Wait, can we talk about Nick Folk just for like
He's a
20
beast.
seconds?
Go ahead.
He's so good.
He's
I remember when I was
best
like,
slash most consistent. He's easily most consistent, I guess. Best player on the Patriots this year. Technically, I saw like his points responsible for, and it's absurd.
He's a beast.
I'm such an asshole for wanting Quinn Nordine. Like,
It caught Quinn Nordine today. So
yeah, as they should put a little respect on Nick Folk's day. I actually saw a crazy statistic that opposing kickers are kicking 61% field goal percentage against the Patriots, worse than the league. I don't know if that's just luck or like
The Doink Dome. I mean,
but meanwhile, like Nick Folk has been pretty damn consistent. He has been great. And
it's the Tiger Woods effect. Everyone's,
you
when they play against Tiger Woods, it was shot lower on Sundays because he was so intimidating. That's what's happening with Nick Folk.
Nick Folk has a Tiger Woods
They're
effect.
like,
That's
big
been
dick
said millions
Nick.
of times in this world.
he better get a Pro Bowl selection. I know it always goes to Justin Tucker, which it will get. They only get one, right? Sucks for him because he should be. He deserved it last year.
I don't know, Adam. This is where you lose me with like the special teams talk. I think one kicker per conference is technically fair for Pro Bowl selections. But hey,
one should do kickoffs, one should kick field goals. Give him.
Hey, that's not a bad. There you go. Actually, now you might have sold me. But have you seen the pictures of Nick Folk progressing through his career? What he looks like?
No,
that dude just consistently ate through an entire career. He did not like. He didn't care at one bit about health or anything like that. It's great. I mean, and, hey, I love it. I still love the kicks. But if you look up a picture of him as a rookie and a picture of him now, it's crazy. But go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. We don't need to talk about it. I was like, was he drafted by Dallas? Like, that's such a stupid thing to talk about.
We do have our survivor picks.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I'm gonna try and find it. I can't remember if it's a full body picture. I just saw it on Twitter. I think he needs to be in a helmet. If you want to look at it. But it was on Twitter. I don't know if you could find it. But I don't know. It was just looked like this guy hasn't passed up a cookie or a missed field goal in his entire career or something like that. But
Adam, it's actually crazy you don't have a Folk jersey yet because you have like a Southsea one.
I know. I don't want to jinx him. Ever since I got that jersey, Steve went real downhill.
All right, here we go. Let's get the screen up here. Survivor, if you've been following along, I am 7-5. Adam 9-3. Jake is 8-4. Adam, it's on you. Who you like this week? I think you already kind of.
Wait, can you go back to that just so I can make sure that I haven't used them? I've been skidding low key before this past week. I've been
skidding too just since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, to get off the pine, if you will, I'm going to go with good old TB12, not MJ10.
Bucks versus the Falcons. Good spot there. Jake, what do we got? Jake in second place. But if we have to flash back to when I picked the Jets versus the Bengals, Adam gets one extra loss at the end of the year, and I get one extra win. I don't know how much that's going to impact me from a win standpoint, but Adam getting an extra loss, it could we could see Jake kind of catching up to him here. So
I'll save the steak. I will have an appetite for the dinner.
Okay. Who's your pick?
I'm gonna actually sing this one. Ready?
Yeah.
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Eagles, baby. They're gonna have a rebound week. I know I can't.
You're not gonna finish the song?
No, that was enough torture for everyone else.
The Eagles yet? No, you didn't.
No. Yeah, big week for them. They're gonna rebound. Jets.
Ooh.
Don't hate
I
it.
like that. Well, I think Hurts might be banged up, but still, even there, they're gonna beat the Jets.
I thought I had taken them, but I guess not. I'm gonna be rolling with the Raiders against the Washington football team. Sunday night or Sunday evening, 4:05, December 5th in Las Vegas. Tune in if you guys want to see a Survivor Pool win. But that's what we got.
You're betting against Heineke?
What? Oh yeah, who? Yeah, why not?
Why is Heineke's low key in there?
He's so filthy.
He's been so good last week.
He's Tony Romo. He's literally Tony Romo.
But
So he's gonna have a great broadcasting career.
Yes,
it's true. This is where he hurts his back though. This game. Knock on wood, I guess, to not happen. But all right, that's our Survivor Pool. Again, it's going to come down to the wire. Adam was running away from it. Adam went 7 weeks without missing, and then you've missed 3 out of your last 5, and 3 out of your last 4 before that. But I can't really talk. I've just, I haven't strung together 2 wins in a row in a while. But I think that's going to do it unless you guys got any extra, last minute things to talk about.
Last minute chime in. Are you guys going to spend any time watching the Manning cast on Monday night?
I've been watching. That's a good
It's
question.
good. I don't want to
I've been watching that like most of the game, but now it's Patriots. I don't know if I want that.
They don't really talk about the game at all.
Yeah, they bring in guests and Eli's.
Well, I wonder who they'll bring for guests. There'll probably be like some good expats and stuff on there. I would think.
They just had Edelman on.
They bring Tom in.
That'd be unreal.
That'd be
awesome.
Never did. He
Yeah,
was on earlier this year.
That's a good question, Adam, because like I've actually elected to watch that for like most of the games, but now it's like I care. Like it's not just like I'm watching it for fun. Like I care about the game, so I don't know.
Well, if it was the last year's broadcast with was it last year or whatever the year they had Joe Tessitore
Booger and
Booger and Jason Witten.
Yeah. That was awful.
I would rather have mute than have that. So I actually like Louis Riddick, so I'll probably dial into the actual broadcast.
I think I'm gonna DVR the Manning cast. Maybe go back.
That's a good call.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. There might be like some funny, could be good guests. I kind of want to hear what Peyton Manning has to say about Bill. Like that could be funny.
You don't care what Eli has to say?
No, Eli, I'm scarred. Eli's got Bill's number. Eli's gonna crack so many jokes. Yeah,
he probably
real tough.
Oh, he probably will.
But defense was real tough on you, Peyton.
But all right, that does it for Lucky. I mean, Adam might be right, Jake, about his prediction here because this is Lucky number 13, our episode number. So we could be talking about a loss coming up, but we'll see. It depends if you believe in superstitions or not. But that's gonna do it, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, all that good stuff. We're sticking with the show, still doing it. Love talking Patriots. So let us know what you guys want to see. Let us know what you want to hear, everything like that. But we'll catch you guys hopefully after a win next week for episode 14. See you guys.
Peace.